The last 18 months has been challenging. Who would have known that a virus would spread across the globe and totally turn our lives upside down? Since March 2020, I personally have lost family members, lost my job, and had to move house twice. With all that chaos and uncertainty around, I had to take my personal development and coaching skills deeper. Luckily, in 2019, I started learning about the SelfCoaching Model, and I have used what I've learned to solve my problems since then. Hello friends, and welcome. In today's episode, I will be sharing with you the basics of the SelfCoaching Model and how you can apply it to your life to get the results you want in the future. I learned the self-coaching model from Brooke at the Life Coach School, but it's worth mentioning that although she created the tool, she didn't invent the theory. Before I begin with today's episode, please take a moment to go to my blog and join my A-list for exclusive content, sales and giveaways, and so you get notified when I come back with a brand new post. Without any further ado, let's jump into the post. So, what is the self-coaching model? The self-coaching model is a tool that you can use to gain new insights, solve problems, and produce new results in your life. The basic premise of the self-coaching model is that your thoughts create your feelings create your actions, and your actions create your results. So, circumstances, thoughts, feelings, actions, results. Before you start using the self-coaching model, let's define each of its components. Number 1, circumstances. Circumstances are the facts that can be proven in a court of law. So an example is I'm 5'4" tall. The fact that I am a certain height is measurable, provable, and not debatable. This is how circumstances work. They're always the facts that everyone agrees on and can be proven. Besides basic facts, there are 2 additional components to circumstances. These are your past and other people's actions. The events of your pasts are circumstances. For example, if your mum came over to your house last week at 10 a.m. without calling first, that is a circumstance, it's a fact, it's her action, it's already happened. If your mum calls you right now and says she's coming over, that is also a circumstance. She called and said she's coming over. It's a fact that she called and it's not debatable by anyone. Circumstances are the facts of life. They're neutral. That means that they're neither good nor bad. Circumstances only become good or bad based on the thoughts that we have about them. Number 2, thoughts. Thoughts are sentences in your head. For example, thinking that your mum is being rude by coming over unannounced is a thought. This is your opinion. Many people could have different opinions about the same circumstance. You know a thought is a thought and not a circumstance if there are any descriptive words or opinions in the sentences around the facts. Even if 100 people out of 100 people agree on something that has an opinion in it, it's still a thought because it can't be proven as a fact. The number of people agreeing with a thought doesn't make it a circumstance, it's still a thought. Anytime you add a qualifier to a circumstance, you are choosing to think a thought. If you say, she had a terrible past, that is a thought, no matter how many people agree with you. The descriptor, terrible, is a thought about her past. As human beings, we have approximately 60,000 thoughts per day. Most people have unsupervised minds, meaning that they don't intentionally choose their thoughts. That is what gets them into big trouble. They feel so bad on a regular basis without knowing why or how to process their emotions. Nothing that happens in your life is amazing or terrible, or until you decide to have a thought about it. If you haven't trained your brain to think intentionally, you will continue to repeat your past and have the same thoughts you've always had. You have to train your brain to create new results for your future. This is what you can do with the model. Number 3, feelings. Feelings are vibrations in your body. We're not taught how to feel. Because of the way our brains have developed to avoid pain, we typically avoid, resist, and react to negative emotions. We need to learn how to notice, acknowledge, and name our feelings and experience them as vibrations in our body. When using the model, feelings should be described in one word. Examples of feelings that can be expressed in one word are happy, sad, angry, ashamed, determined, joyful, uncertain, and depressed. Many people confuse thoughts and feelings. For example, if someone asks you how you felt about your mum coming over unannounced, you might say, "I'm frustrated because she's being rude." In this example, the feeling you're having is frustration. The thought you're having about the circumstance is that your mum is being rude. Your mum coming over unannounced is not, in and of itself, frustrating. It's a neutral circumstance. Your thought that your mum is being rude is causing you to feel frustrated. Distinguishing between thoughts and feelings is critical to feeling better. Understanding that your thoughts cause your feelings is how to feel better without changing your circumstances. No one can cause you to feel a certain way. Your thoughts about what someone did or didn't do are what causes you to feel something. Your thoughts cause your emotions, always. This is great news because it means you can choose how you want to think and therefore how you want to feel. That doesn't mean you'll feel good all the time. In fact, you feel bad about 50% of the time. But you'll feel bad because you're choosing to feel bad, not because someone else is making you feel bad. When you say someone else makes you feel a certain way, you give your power away. And in most cases, other people are notoriously bad at making us feel the way we want to feel. That is another reason to be thankful that you alone are responsible for how you feel. Number 4, actions, inactions, or reactions. Actions are what you do, don't do, or react to, i.e., actions, inactions, and reactions. In the model, your feelings fuel your actions, inactions, and reactions. For example, let's say by feeling frustrated with your mum coming over unannounced, you decide not to talk to her for the rest of the week. The frustration you felt drove the action of giving her the silent treatment. Your actions, inactions, and reactions will be based on the feelings that fueled them. If you're not taking action and wondering why, ask yourself what the feeling is that you're having right before you want to take action. Then, work backwards to determine what thought is driving that feeling. Number 5, results. Results are the consequences or outcomes of your actions, inactions, or reactions. Using the same example, the consequence of you not talking to your mum for a week might be that you're being rude to her and not showing up how you want to in the relationship. The problem with most coaching is that it focuses solely on changing your actions. When you change your actions and don't change the thoughts and feelings behind the actions, there's resistance, which makes it difficult, if not impossible, to see real change. That is treating the symptom instead of the root cause of the problem. The self-coaching model is a way for you to solve any problem instead of only fixing the symptoms temporarily. Using the self-coaching model every day. To start using the self-coaching model in your life, keep in mind 2 ways you can use it. Number 1, to solve a problem you're having. It could be something you're going through, how you're feeling about something, or anything else you want to deal with. And number 2, you can use it to plan your future. When you have a problem, coach yourself by using the self-coaching model and following the steps listed. So step 1 is to write down CTFAR, the acronym of the components of the model, in a vertical column. Step 2 is to fill in one line. It could be any line that you want to solve for. It doesn't have to be the action line or the feelings line. So for example, let's say you want to know why you're not getting up at 5 a.m. despite really wanting to get up that early so you can work out before your day starts. You could put in the inaction of not getting up at 5 a.m. in the action line. And step 3 will be to fill in the remaining lines. So, for example, under C for circumstances, you can just put exercise. Under T for thoughts, you can write, even if I do it, it won't make a difference. Under F for feelings, you could write apathetic. Under A for actions, you could write don't get up at 5 a.m, don't exercise. And under R for results, you can write down no difference is made. So when you discover the underlying thought causing the results in your life, you become aware of how you're responsible for the results. That awareness shows you how you're already creating the results, which means you can change your thought to achieve different results. You can believe anything. Stay with a thought long enough to gain awareness of it and to recognize that it's a choice. Observe yourself while you're having that current thought. Sometimes, if a new thought has strong enough evidence and you can believe it as well as the old thought, you may immediately drop the first thought for the new thought. So create new pathways in your brain by experimenting with new thoughts. This is how you can change old habits and patterns by practicing a new habit over and over. Practice trying on a new thought over and over. Or decide what you want your new thought to be and incrementally change it. Your thoughts only lead to your results if you actually believe the thoughts. For example, if your thought is that working out won't make a difference anyway, you can't start repeating working out is going to make a huge difference because you don't actually believe it. If you repeat a thought you don't believe, nothing will change. Instead, you need to repeat a new thought that you do believe, such as, I am human and it's okay that working out hasn't worked out for me in the past. This doesn't mean it can't work for me in the future. That thought is neutral and incrementally moves you away from negative thought. Again, that thought only works if you truly believe it. You have to incrementally change your thoughts from negative to neutral and then to positive. That process is called laddering your thoughts to make real change. The self-coaching model helps you learn how to process your feelings and create the results you want despite knowing that you'll have problems along the way. Typically, people resist, react to, or avoid their feelings. The self-coaching model teaches you how to experience your feelings. Your willingness to experience negative emotions will directly affect your level of success. This is how you can change your entire life so it can be exactly what you want it to be. Summing up. If you can't figure out why you acted or didn't act in a particular way, conduct a thought download. Write how you feel and what you're thinking for 5 minutes without stopping or putting down your pen. You'll see how your thinking is causing your results. Start using the self-coaching model daily. And anytime you have a problem, write CTFAR and fill in each line. The more you practice using the model, the better you'll become at creating the results you want. Anytime you feel a certain way that you don't like, ask yourself, what am I thinking? And practice being with that feeling instead of avoiding, resisting, or reacting to it. An action that you can take right now is to head on over to my blog, nefiaguntoye.com, and download the free self-coaching workbook that accompanies this episode. So, those are the basics of the self-coaching model. I'm interested. Have you used this model before? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this episode, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to share with your friends and family. You can talk to me on all social medias or ask a question on my contact page at nefiaguntoye.com. Thank you for being a freedom seeker, and I will see you in the next one.